Bluey is an Australian kids show that has taken the world by storm. Created by Joe Brumm and produced by Ludo Studios in Brisbane, Australia, the show centers around a family of Australian cattle dogs and the experiences they have throughout their daily lives. Since its first airing on October 1st, 2018, people of all ages from around the world have grown to enjoy the healers and the antics they get up to. Although, 2018 wasn't the very beginning of this show's history. Development of the show, or at least concepts of it, started a couple of years before its official airing. Like with any television series that's had many years of development, there exists old concept art, designs, and pilot episodes. And again, like with most shows, most of this media is lost, despite the show beginning and finishing development not too long ago. With all of this in mind, two questions stand out. Where can we potentially find this lost media? And when were the pieces originally produced or available? Let's find out. The lost media of Bluey began to gain the attention of fans back in 2020 when a 1-minute clip of an old Bluey pilot surfaced on YouTube. With people wondering when and where this clip came from, people began to search for the rest of the episode as well as any other lost media the show had to offer. Currently, we are aware that two pieces of lost media for Bluey exist. A 7-minute pilot of the show that has 1 minute of it recovered online, as well as a 1-minute animation sample that was produced in the beginning stages of the show's development. Alright, so we have some things to work off of, but how do we know what specific time frame to look in? Thankfully, we already have a pretty solid timeline for Bluey's development. We know for sure that Bluey's original concept started back in 2016, confirmed in an interview with Joe Brumm for the Saturday paper, where he shared many important details regarding the early production of Bluey. More on that later though. We also know that Bluey's development finished in October of 2018, as that was the date the show first aired. Having these boundaries set, we're now able to look for potential leads between 2016 and 2018. To make this video a lot easier to follow, we're going to work on the lost media in chronological order, starting in 2016 and proceeding onwards. So what's been able to be dug up from 2016? Well, a lot actually, and it all starts with some details revealed by Joe Brumm in his interview from the Saturday paper. In the interview, Brumm reveals that in 2016, Ludo Studio co-founders Charlie Aspinwall and Daley Pearson presented the previously mentioned 1-minute animation sample to MIPCOM. MIPCOM is a television trade fair that is held every October in Cannes, France. The trade fair is a hub for new and upcoming talent to pitch show ideas and to hopefully land a deal with a big company. When the 1-minute animation sample was presented to executives, however, it was turned down. In his interview, Joe Brumm describes the reason why the 1-minute sample was rejected, giving a lot of details as to what was in the actual video. Brumm states that executives thought it was unsafe for a kids show, and bordered more on a show like Family Guy. He then goes on to detail the sample's plot. Quote, "Bandit was pushing Bluey and she wanted to go all the way around on a swing, so she just ends up doing a full 360 degrees. I have seen some other supposed details on some discussion boards, such as Bluey potentially playing Fruit Ninja on a tablet in the sample, but there isn't much reliability on those claims." So, we've got a premise for the 1-minute sample and where we can potentially find it, therefore we must be close to finding it. Right? Well, due to the sample being presented unofficially, it wasn't ever listed on any of MIPCOM's main screenings for 2016. Even if it was available on their screenings page for 2016 on the Wayback Machine, only those who registered for the event would be able to access it. Having only a description of the 1-minute animation and reaching a dead end, it seemed like there was nothing else that could be recovered from 2016. That is, until this image was found. Posted by Redditor Another Jack Russell on the r/Bluey subreddit back in June of 2022, the image depicts some early designs for the Bluey characters set on a beach setting. The Redditor also verified this image's legitimacy, using the Wayback Machine to find the image on the screening page for an event called the Asian Animation Summit in 2016. And sure enough, using the Wayback Machine myself, there the image is. Furthermore, going to IMDb, the site states that Bluey won the Best in Show award at the same event. So what is the Asian Animation Summit, and can it be our next clue for finding Bluey's lost pilots? Just like MIPCOM, the Asian Animation Summit is a yearly event that showcases upcoming talent and ideas for shows every November, with some shows being picked up by big companies. Bluey was one of the shows that were officially pitched at the event back in 2016, meaning that it's more promising to find some of the material they showcased. And sure enough, more images were brought to light recently. Twitter user The Developer brought to light 2 images that were being shared around on a Bluey Discord server. Both images are pictures taken of what looks like a projected presentation. The presentation showcases very early designs for Bluey that match up with the design of the intro in the partially recovered pilot. Same square nose, same tail design, and same eye spacing. With some of the details matching up with the pilot, these images seem pretty promising. To further solidify that these images are real, both were taken from attendees of the 2016 Asian Animation Summit, with the date that the posts were made matching up with the time that the event took place. There are some more pictures taken from this event. However, let's focus on one of the 2 images I just presented. First, the image with both Bandit and Bluey showcased an even earlier design of Bandit, having a matching fur pattern with Bluey as opposed to his design in the Lost Pilot. Second, the image is in a park setting with what looks like a swing set or part of a playground just off in the corner. While this is just speculation, this could be what the overall design of the 1-minute animation sample could have looked like. Not only was the Asian Animation Summit 1 month after MIPCOM, the event that the sample was presented at, but the details of the image line up roughly with some of the sample's plot points. This could well mean that they used some old designs, assets, and concepts from the 1-minute animation sample in their presentation, as 1 month is a very short amount of time to completely turn a show around. As a matter of fact, it is hinted that Joe Brumm and Ludo Studios rushed to create this pitch, with an Instagram post from Kidscreen, an organization that attended the Asian Animation Summit, referring to the studio as Time Crunch Masters. Paired with the image containing the text, "We finished this today," it could mean that the whole pitch was rushed to completion, leading to some older assets and designs being used in the 2016 presentation. Before I move on, I would also like to clarify that there was most likely not a separate pilot episode that was aired at this event. A lot of confusion has been brought up online whether there was a 5-minute pilot on top of the other 2 pieces of lost media, but after doing some further research, this 2016 pilot most likely doesn't exist. Reading up on an in-depth article regarding the show's development, it is specified that the Asian Animation Summit presentation was a 5-minute pitch rather than a 5-minute pilot. Just thought I'd try to clear that bit of info up, since I've seen a lot of confusion on the internet about it, and honestly, I was a bit confused about it too before researching this. Having discussed those images and clarifying some details, let's move on to the other 2 pictures that were able to be found. Both of the images on screen are more pictures taken from the Asian Animation Summit in 2016. These can be found on both the Kidscreen Twitter account as well as a Kidscreen article from 2016. Both pictures are simply of the Bluey pitch at the event, but we do get some insight into how far back the pilot designs went. Another detail that I find interesting is that Chili's design in the images matches up fairly well, if not perfectly, with her official design. It makes me wonder whether Chili's design in the pilot was due to a technical error, or if Ludo was just experimenting with new designs for her in development. Now, the big question with all of these images is, are there any recordings of the pitch? I mean, we have screenshots, so surely there would be recordings too. Well, as far as I've searched, there aren't any. I've checked YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and even Vimeo, but nothing came up. So, with 2016 coming to a close, Bluey's public development went silent for a bit, and with that, not a lot of new places to look for its lost media. But then, 2017 rolled around. 2017 was the year that the Lost Bluey pilot was supposedly created, and we actually have a lot of stuff that was uncovered. To add a bit of continuity between 2016 and 2017, it was said in the Saturday paper interview with Joe Brumm that the ABC television had picked up Bluey after their pitch at the Asian Animation Summit in 2016. They gave $20,000 in funding to make a 7-minute pilot of the show in order to test the waters. What was produced is the lost pilot that was partially recovered online. To better analyze this lost pilot, let's break down what's been recovered from the internet. To start things off, the 1-minute clip of the pilot that gained popularity on YouTube was actually a re-upload of a tweet from ABC Brisbane on December of 2017. The tweet was a teaser for Bluey while it was still in development, showcasing a glimpse of what was to come from the show at the time. On top of this tweet, ABC also made an article about the upcoming show, revealing 3 screenshots from the entire pilot. Here's what we can get from the video and screenshots. First, the pilot was what is now the episode The Weekend in Bluey's first season. The pilot and screenshots line up perfectly with the official episode, with the only actual differences being the music, audio, backgrounds, and designs of the characters. Another potential difference could be some parts of the script. This is because towards the end of The Weekend, Bluey's explaining to Bingo how the doll she's holding is wearing sushi shoes. However, in one of the recovered pilot screenshots, we see a completely different doll. So there could have been potentially something different that Bluey said in this scene. The second thing we can get from this media is that the pilot was most likely not meant to be officially aired, but rather just to test out the show and see what worked as well as what didn't. We know this mainly due to the intro of the episode, containing an older design of Bluey that did not match up with her current design in the pilot, but rather her older 2016 design, leading to only a partially produced final product. So we know what the overall pilot looked like as well as its plot. But outside of that, there hasn't been any official release for the actual video, only the 1-minute clip online. Again, I tried looking everywhere for the rest of it, but I couldn't find anything personally. To complete the timeline from 2017 to 2018, nothing too crazy happened regarding the show's development. So it's safe to assume that they simply took feedback from the 2017 pilot and worked on redesigning and cleaning up the show for its 2018 release. And that brings us to today. So, where do I think the 1-minute animation sample and the lost pilot are? Well, we know that the animation sample is still in Joe Brum's possession. However, he stated that he isn't planning on releasing it to the world at the moment, stating, "You could never put that on TV." As for the 2017 pilot, it most likely is still in the hands of Ludo Studios and ABC, kept somewhere in their archives. And with most stuff in television archives, it's not too often that old stuff just gets released whenever. But I don't think that all hope is lost. People are still finding stuff to this day, with some of the findings I mentioned in this video being brought to light this year. And with the amount of stuff that's been found regarding the lost media of Bluey, along with a rising popularity for the show, who knows what might be discovered or even released on the internet. For now though, I encourage anybody who's into digging up lost media to do some searches of their own, as I'm sure there's some places others and I haven't looked. With time, patience, and perseverance, a new breakthrough could be just on the horizon. Thank you all for watching this video. This is the first video of this genre that I've done in a long time, so make sure to like, subscribe, and share the video around if you want to see more of this. Also, if there's anything you think I missed, got wrong, or if you have any suggestions for what I should look into next, let me know in the comments below or let me know on Twitter or my official Discord. All links will be in the description. And with that, have a great day, and I'll see you next time.